let's zoom in on Fifi, 7 years old, out in the yard of your parents' house, Eden. The sky's getting real dark. You've got a stick, kind of splatting at a mud puddle with it, and the sky's getting impossibly dark. It's getting dark, 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 and then you hear footsteps, and your mom runs up and snatches you and holds you to her and says, "Go, go, go, get inside, get inside."
I run inside.
And she's holding you, and she drags you in, and they shut the door, and your dad's looking out the window, and an alarm, kind of those loud air siren type things, just starts going off in the background, just, and the metal domes start to come up around Eden. People are screaming and yelling out in the streets and going to board up in their house. There is some form of law enforcement in pre-apocalypse Eden. It's like a constable who was in charge of keeping security in those final days and didn't do fuck all really, because how do you prepare for this? But what they did was try to get people inside. You do see them in like a little patrol car just kind of going up and down the roads trying to make sure everyone's getting to safety as the dome completes itself, and there's vents on the side, so it's not too completely, it's a little counterintuitive, but you've got to make concessions somewhere because you can't just form an airtight bubble, but you've got to provide as much protection as you can. So there's these little like iron vents when the bubble is all the way up, and when it closes and everyone's watching the sky out of their windows, your mom tells your dad to pull you away from the window, don't get too close, and in fact tells him to go like run the bathtub, to run water in the tub. And there's this big heavy dent up in the air, because right now the sky just looks like the metal shields, and it actually caves in like this heavy thunk, like someone stretched aluminum foil and just slammed their fist against it. And then there's like 2 or 3 more, and then you remember falling. And when you come back to, it's because the maelstrom has come inside you for the first time. Can you roll the psi move? The move, roll for psi harm. This is just roll +1.
Just +1?
Yeah.
8.
When you come to, your eyes are glassy. You're essentially sleepwalking, but you're conscious throughout of it as you walk from the spot that you fell on the floor past your parents, who are just bucking and writhing on the ground, their backs like arching up, spines just bent impossibly as they're all going through seizures, and the entire town of Eden is extremely quiet. There's not a sound to be heard. There's not as much, I guess, it's not what you think the apocalypse would sound like, because you're not hearing anything. And you go to the window. You're not controlling yourself going to the window. You don't necessarily want to go to the window. The last memory you had was being pulled away from it before you collapsed. But you look up, and the bubble is slowly starting to crumple in and fade, and you see one massive plate fall down and crush over like 8 houses, just smash through all of them. And it's all you can do but watch. And at that time, you are hearing the whispering voices of everyone on the planet at the same time. And you don't understand how you can know all these things and hear them all as distinct voices. It doesn't make any sense. There's no logic to it, but you do. You just hear billions and billions of voices, all in like an itemized list. And for a moment, you know everything and everyone. You'll forget it all because you're a kid and because everyone forgot. But there was one thing that you heard that has stuck with you to this day. Can you tell me what that is?
I remember hearing a man's voice that was just saying over and over, "I have to protect them."
I have to protect them. I have to protect them. I have to protect them.